in studio, fresh out of anti-doping. We have today's third place finisher, top American at the Golden Trail World Series 26K at Mammoth Trailfest, Anna Gibson.
Woohoo. Hi, guys.
Thanks for
Anna,
joining us.
thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we had to ad lib for a while here, but I think the people watching are very much grateful that we have pulled off a Mad Lib scenario in order to make you come into studio with us.
It's funny, you finish the race and it's like you still got things to do, you know? Your
Yeah.
day's not done yet. You're
I
still
mean, you
racing.
did great. Like it could take like 3 hours to get that first pee out. So
Yeah, I'm pretty proud.
Rod's not
This
talking
is
from
record timing for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you really want to get pulled for anti-doping because that means you're on the podium, but at the same time, it's like this afternoon could be a lot longer now. Well, congratulations on an amazing race.
Thank you.
I guess, I mean, to kick things off, before we dive, like maybe directly into the race today, you raced the Headlands 27K last weekend, more or less on home turf. You've been a resident of Mill Valley for the last 6 months or so. They're claiming you. I, by tangent, then are claiming you as a Mill Valley person. And it seemed like you were a little disappointed with how that race went. Talk to us a little bit about that and then having to bounce back for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't have the day I was hoping for at Headlands, but it's funny, like I think after the race walking around, people are like, "Oh, you did great. Like, what's going on?" You know, like, "Oh, why are you disappointed? Why are you bumming?" And I think like there's always like a little bit more to a performance than just the outcome. Like 7th at any Golden Trail race is great, and I know that. Like I was stoked. I'm in the top 10. It's all good. Like season goes on, but I think I just like really suffered out there at Headlands. Like the battle started pretty early and I like had to fight some negative thoughts that I haven't had in races in a while. Like I've been having a great year and it kind of caught me by surprise. So when I crossed the finish line, I was like a little overcome with emotion and was like, wow, that was low. Like I had a hard time out there. So I think just the experience I had was not quite as fun as it usually is.
Mhm.
And I was disappointed with that. But yeah, we came back, lived to see another day, you know?
Quite at altitude this weekend.
Yeah, I was stoked to come up to Mammoth. So
yeah, well, it sounds like you handled the battles pretty well, so should be proud of that, definitely. But I can totally resonate. Like, some people will say 7th is great, but only you know what happened out there, and there's places for you to really see improvement. And I think it's cool to have another opportunity a week
Mhm.
later to really prove yourself wrong and prove that you can fight those demons. So yeah, kind of walk us through what happened. I mean, we were able to see, or I was personally able to see a lot of it up Dragon's Back, but yeah, walk us through that point getting up to the steep climb.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my race plan was just to like go out kind of mellow and like if women wanted to go, that's fine. Like I didn't need to be up there with them trying to take the lead. So
I want to say that
um
no one looked mellow when I saw you at Twin Lakes. Just, just to set the record straight, mellow for Anna means different things for us.
it didn't exactly feel mellow in the moment, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna just be the person who's like leading the charge. I wanted to get to the bottom of Dragon's Back and feel good. And then knowing that I had like, yeah, whatever, 40 minutes of climbing after that, I wanted to feel really good in that section because I knew that's where I was strongest. So I was kind of just like, okay, be patient, just wait, just wait. It's all gonna come. It's like fine. You got so much time to run. And yeah, Dragon's Back was great. It was awesome. I was like kind of just working with a couple women, like Tabor was out there. Rachel Drake and I were there together, like just kind of pulling each other through different sections, going back and forth. Lauren Gregory was there. So it was like just this squad of American women. And I know them all like personally to varying degrees. So it was just great. We'd pass each other and be like, okay, come on, girl, we got this. Like just pushing each other, which was so fun. I haven't had that in a race where we're like actually running together in a while. And it's so great to just like be pulling the best out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was super cool. So I got to be at Twin Lakes, the top, and then McCoy. And so I got to witness like you having to break out into a hike, for example, going up Dragon's Back, which is, to be fair, I think I would have hiked a lot of it. So kudos. Well, Rachel put a move in there. We saw Rachel like run over the top of Dragon's Back. And then I saw you at McCoy together, basically. And from talking to Rachel, it sounds like you had actually kind of bridged back maybe just before that aid station, before you guys both continued, it sounds like, to duke it out and put moves in all the way down to the bottom where you did eventually get away. So tell us a little bit about heading into that descent and then making that move back, and then the battle that ensued from there to the village here where we are sitting.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it didn't really feel like much of a battle until we were like down in the last couple of cruisy miles, like down, yeah, past the last aid station. I felt like that's where it really turned into a fight. Like the rest of it, we would like go by each other and just be like, okay, come on, let's go. Like we were working together. And there was a couple of moments where like when she crested over the mountain before me, I was like, okay, maybe I'm about to get dropped. Like I'm not quite sure. She like was kind of on a mission. And there were a few other points where like I passed her where I was on a mission, but we kept meeting back up. And so it's like, yeah, it felt like teamwork, honestly. And like the battle really started when we got down and we were running pretty fast. And yeah, I was like, okay, it's now or never. Like, I don't know. I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to send it and see if I can put a move on her that actually sticks. And she might get me, but I'm going to try. So I did, like a mile from the finish.
So was that kind of like an instantaneous mentality shift of like, okay, now I'm going for the podium versus like before it was like, I'm going for a run with my buddy Rachel.
A very hard
Definitely.
run with my buddy Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely became like, okay, I know we're fighting for third place. And I was fourth at this race last year.
Yeah.
I was like really stoked with fourth last year, but I was like, if I get fourth again, I'm gonna be kind of mad. Like, I don't want to get fourth again. I want to get on the podium. I want to be third. And so I was like, okay, like it's me against Rachel now. Like we've helped each other get to this point. And like I knew we had a little bit of a break after that. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is the move. Like I'm going.
Yeah, I can say that she was worried about you and particularly Lauren Gregory, knowing that you both are coming off of really fast road and track seasons. She's coming back from Western states. So I think that she was definitely concerned about kind of what might happen in those final miles. And I asked her, I said, oh, was that a terrain choice where it's like it was just flat enough where Anna was just rolling a lot faster, or was it an intentional move? And she was like, well, you're gonna have to ask Anna about that. She's like, but it felt like a move. So she felt the burners turn on there in a big way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I went around her at first, I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this is it, but like I think I knew within like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, this is decisive. Like I'm going. It wasn't gonna be just another one where I'm like letting her like hang on to me. I was like, hey, we're way too close to the finish for this.
Yeah.
You didn't want it to come down to a race down the stairs?
No, I mean, I had that going through my head. I was like, wow, if this turns into a sprint finish, like I'm feeling pretty empty. Like I'm not really sure, honestly. Like, yeah, we just ran 16 miles. Like I don't have the leg speed that I do in a 1500 when I'm at that point in a race. So
That's so funny. Rachel's like, I don't have anywhere near the leg speed of Anna. And it's funny you're thinking of it from a 1500-meter context. She's probably thinking of it from like a
100-mile context.
100-mile.
Yeah, she's like, I can suffer for 17 and a half hours. And you're like, I like to race for three minutes. So you guys are meeting in the middle here at 16 miles. I guess looking at your season, kind of reflecting at what might be coming next. I know that you were over in Europe for Poland and that race got canceled. So how are things setting up for you right now in the Golden Trail World Series? Are you headed to finals next month? What is that looking like?
Yeah, I mean, this was my third race, so we'll see where this puts me in the points, but I'm stoked to like get a podium to add. I think, yeah, because I have 6th at Series and all, 7th last weekend, and then 3rd here. So
oh yeah, you're set.
I'm stoked. It's kind of funny like coming into the Golden Trail season for the back half and like just feeling behind like optics wise, even though I'm not actually. Because a bunch of the people like ahead of me in the scoring like had their races counted already. So yeah, it was exciting to like get this today, and I'm excited for the final. Like definitely planning on going there and yeah, giving a battle, trying to get ranked in the top 10. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Corinne and I were talking a little bit about the staggered start and having the women start earlier. How do you feel like that affected your race, all of a sudden not having, a ton of men around you and being able to see in front of you, I guess, as you're taking it out hard?
I will preface this by saying last week I would have answered this question very differently. Last week I was like, I hate this because it was foggy at Headlands, so I literally could not see the women in front of me or behind me, and like you'd have these very brief interactions. I was like, I'm so alone. This isn't fun. I'm like out for a time trial on these trails that I've been training on for the last couple of months, like by myself. This is not a good time. Like I didn't really enjoy that. So last week I was like, yeah, I'd rather race with the men. Then today it was awesome. Like it was so fun, and just having like, yeah, you look up and you see the people in front of you and you're like, those are the people I'm racing.
I
like,
know what place I'm in.
I know what place I'm in. I knew what place I was in the entire race. And just like, yeah, feeling that kind of girl power where it's like we're in a crew. There's like 3 of us, we're working together. Like this is great. Yeah, it's a completely different experience than racing like buried in a men's race.
Yeah.
And it was even kind of fun like having the men go by us in the last couple miles. Like everyone's like, let's go. Like they get kind of excited
Yeah.
when they come by and see what's happening in our race too. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we even heard that from like Garrett at the finish here too, like kind of getting to see Rachel at the end there. And, like even in like the last, like we're talking like the last like 500 meters, like cheering each other on all the
Mhm.
way in. I think that is like that level of camaraderie. Last weekend, you guys started on different days. This weekend was more, I think, akin to a lot of the other Golden Trail races where if it's a race that already exists out there in the world, they're doing these early starts. And I do think that also it's cool. Like Joyce almost finished first.
Mhm.
Like she almost held them off
Yeah.
completely. And like that's also kind of this like interesting dynamic to the whole thing.
Yeah, and honestly, like I much prefer what we did today because it's like all these people are here for both races and
Yeah.
they're getting to watch both. Like it definitely felt like the spectators were spread between the races last weekend, like, and it just was very quiet out.
Yeah.
And it's like the hype that comes with like both races happening at the same time and
Yeah.
duking it out. It's super fun.
Well, we're
Yeah,
here
it
for the
was-
hype.
It was awesome to have the epicenter be at the summit,
Mhm.
all within a few minutes of each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah,
exciting
getting around this
atmosphere.
course was also very easy as a person who made it all over the place. Like it was surprisingly easy
Oh
to
my
get to
gosh.
see you.
I was like, wait, Corinne's here again? Like what? Where'd you even come from? I don't know how you got around so fast. You were at
Danny
all the key
Moreno.
spots.
Danny Moreno's a magician. And actually she really wanted someone to give splits at McCoy last year and there was no one there. That aid station with like I don't know, partway down the mountain where we saw you guys, like
Yeah.
she wanted people there last year and there wasn't. And so she's like, we got to go there. We got to go there to cheer them on because I needed it last year and didn't have it. So we took the gondola back down, got off at the halfway point and stayed until you all came through and then
It
took
was
off
perfect.
again and still managed to we rushed and we got here just in time to get you guys to the finish as well.
Perfect timing.
It was super special. Okay, so you've got finals coming up. For those who don't know, but you should know, Anna also races on the track. For Brooks, we mentioned that you were at the Olympic trials for the 1500. You're kind of balancing this like track schedule into trail schedule, seemingly like very well. Like it seems like it's a good a good thing is going on here. I know it's like kind of like year 2-ish of that happening in a big way. I guess tell us a little bit about, where we can expect to see you next and if you are thinking about kind of what that might look like as we head into 2025.
Yeah, well, I don't know. This past year was like obvious what I should do, It's like, okay, finish my time in the NCAA. I like want to do track and trail and compete at a high level and the Olympic trials are coming up. So it's great. I'll do like I'll race track through the Olympic trials and then I'll switch over and I'll start doing the back half of Golden Trail and I'll get to have like the best of both worlds happening all at once, like compete at a really high level in both back to back. So that was obvious what I should do to me. And then this year I'm like, man, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know what comes next. Like, part of me is like curious what happens if I like give more than half to one of them. Like, I don't really know where that will put me. And I'm not sure if it's something I want to find out. So honestly, I have no idea how to answer this question. I'm like, I don't know where I'll be next year.
What does the heart say?
The heart?
Mm-hmm. Which did you enjoy more racing?
You're not going to offend
Well,
us either way.
Okay,
Just
I will say
safe
like
space.
I'm never going to give up the mountains. Like I will always be here
You're a Jackson
because
girl.
this is like who I am, and like this is my community and I just like have so much fun when I'm racing out here. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to not do trail.
Yeah.
That's one of the options that's not on the table, but I also am not ready to give up track yet, so it'll be some balance.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're excited to follow along either way.
Very.
We're going to work on shutting things down here. So big round of applause for third place finisher, top American, Anna Gibson.
The most exciting race today.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your hard work too.
Yeah. Thanks, Anna. We'll see you soon.